My name is Outsider252. Welcome to another Idleon video. Today we're going to be looking into gaming. Okay, the gaming garden. How to maximize your gains and a few things that might help if you're new to this game mode, okay? So let's talk about it. Okay, so as always, remember to like, share and subscribe. I want this community to grow, but it can only do it with your help. It's only a little thing you need to do, just click that button. Okay, so the gaming garden. What is it? Why is it important? So, it's one of the abilities unlocked in World 5, and it's linked to the Divine Knight. So that's the upgrade to the Squire. He has all of the skills that will help you to buff this. The main ones you're going to be looking for is the ability to increase the bits. Okay, now bits is a currency that you will unlock during gaming, and you will use it to buy all of the upgrades within gaming. In-gaming has a lot to it. It's its own game, to be honest. So there's a lot to know, and there's a few things to avoid. Okay, so to begin with gaming, you're going to only really get sprouts. Okay, these are the very, very basic plant. What you can do is, as you pick plants, you gain the ability to roll on RNG to see if you can unlock the next plant in the chain. So sprouts are your very basic one. They give 1 times bit and 1 times gaming XP. If you manage to unlock them, next comes fungi. These give 3 times more bits, but they give no gaming XP. Okay. Next, you're going to get bonsais. These give 4 times bits, 4 times bits per evolution, instead of the normal 3 times. So every time it goes up a plant stage, you'll actually get a bigger bonus from it. Which means bonsais you don't want to pick until they're as late as possible. Next comes the cactus, and what this does is it's going to make other plants grow. Now, depending on what level the cactus is, more cycles will occur, so more chance to upgrade other plants. Next you have blossoms. These are going to give 2 times more bits, 5 times more XP. So if you're looking to level up, this might be where you're aiming. Then Veraci. This looks like the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. What this is going to do is, depending on the level, it will spawn in plants, more plants. Okay, they can be sprouts, fungi, cactus, bonsai, or blossoms. So anything below it can spawn in. Next you get the berry bush. This gives 7 times more bits and 3 times more gaming XP. Then we move on to the evergreen. This is an RNG plant. It can give you up to 100 times more bits, but the base is only 1 time, so you come somewhere between then. You don't know what it's going to be. And the final unlock is chemical. Now what this does, this is probably the most interesting of the plant. There's 2 plants here which I would look out for. This is one of them. This will jump forward your cycle. So if I remember rightly, the first one jumps forward by 8 hours, the second stage jumps forward by 6 hours, the third stage is 16, the fourth stage is 24. I think the 5th stage is 36, but I can't remember, I've only ever used it once. So what this does is it pushes your whole garden forward by that time. Okay, this becomes really, really important later on with other buffs, because you can start skipping forward by a whole day, which means you're going to get more points. It also brings through plant cycles. So when you're trying to grow other plants, this is going to really, really help. The other one which I would recommend looking out for is the cactus. These are the 2 plants that I tend to pick by hand. And what I mean is, in the top right hand corner, once you get to, I believe it's 3 or 4 plants, there's an auto harvest button. If I have cactus on the stage, I will always click those first in the hope that they make other plants grow, which increases your bits. And if I have chemicals on there, then I will let them grow until they're at a decent enough age to give me a good enough time buff. Okay, so I said earlier about needing to pick a certain number of plants to then be able to gamble on whether you'll unlock the next plant. Now, there are some things to look out for. So in the early stages, when you're getting the fungi and the bonsai, you're going to be able to get a high chance of rolling for the next plant. However, as you get towards the last 3, the berry bush, evergreen and chemical, your chances are going to dramatically drop. Now, by the time you get to evergreen and chemical, what is the tried and tested technique to unlock them is actually to try and gamble as quickly as possible. So what most people will do is grow a full garden, then they'll pick it, and then they will immediately try and see if they can get the next plant. This may sound weird because you only have a 0.2% chance, but I currently have something like 140,000 plants. picked, and I have a 0.3% chance of getting the next plant. So no matter how many you pick in the end, you're basically always going to end up with like a 0.01% chance. You're better off pulling that 1,000 times than pulling it 10 times. So on the main screen, you're going to have some of the most important upgrades available under the fertilizer tab. And what this does is you can increase the base bit value, which will increase your sprout. Okay, remember that's a 1-for-1. So the higher this is, the more a sprout is worth. And then for the other ones where they're like 3 times bit, for example, you just triple it. Okay, it's a really, really important upgrade, especially early game. And it's kind of the one that's probably one of the better value for money the whole way through. Next, you have growth time cycle. This will decrease the amount of time for a new sprout to spawn, a plant to evolve, or a plant to go up a cycle. This is quite an important one. However, what you'll find is as you level it up, you will get diminishing returns. So the first time that you level it, you'll likely take a chunk of time off. By the time you've leveled it 150 times, you're probably going to need to level it 10 times before you take a little bit of time off. Okay, so this is important early game. You probably still want to level it up late game, but it becomes less relevant. And the final one is the maximum amount of sprouts. Now this is always important because more sprouts is more bits. But it's very, very pricey. So what you'll tend to find is this racks up into purple bits very, very quickly, and they're very expensive until late game. The next bit to look into is the imports, and what these are almost like items that can help buff your garden. So the first one you can get is a little sprinkler, and what this does is it basically waters your grass. Okay, so it waters your garden, and in the top left-hand corner, there is a marker that tells you how many plants are in your sprinkler. When you click it, that number of plants, all the way up to max, will spawn in your garden instantly. Okay, so you really want to be kind of clearing your garden, or if you've got a sprinkler with say 2 on it and you know there's 2 spaces left in your garden, you're going to use it then. Now, this recharges over time and is a fantastic upgrade. You can also upgrade this in the premium shop to a gold sprinkler. Now, I highly recommend this because what it does is it means that when you click it, there's a chance it will not use its charge. Okay, this will infinitely give you better bitrate. It's one of the better premium purchases in my opinion. The next import you're going to get is the dirty shovel. Now, this is a bit of a troll item in my opinion. What it does is it unlocks a shovel on the garden, and that shovel will dig golden nuggets. Now, the higher level of your shovel will increase the maximum value of the golden nugget. However, it doesn't seem to affect the lowest value. So, even if you have a dirty shovel value of say 200, there is a chance you could get a nugget worth 10. Alright, it doesn't scale very well. It's completely RNG. It's horrible for gaming. If you get really lucky, congratulations. If you don't, your bits are going to suffer. What this does is, depending on the size of the nugget, it will increase your bit rate. So it's a multiplier. It's a really, really good multiplier. However, RNGs be with you because you've got no hope of increasing your chances. The next import is the autumn squirrel. Now this introduces another currency. So you've got bits that are your standard currency. The squirrel will collect acorns. Okay, and the way this works is over time she will gather more. So for the first hour she gains some, then I think the next checkpoint is at 3 hours. But what happens is the longer you leave her, the less acorns she gets per hour. So you're better off checking her more often. With those acorns, you can buy 2 upgrades. The first one increases your bitrate, so it's another bitrate multiplier. The second one decreases the amount of time your growth cycles take. Now this can work quite nicely early game as well because you need growth cycles. However, similar to the other growth cycle buff late game, it tends to drop off a little bit. However, what I tend to find is if you keep them both around about the same value, you're going to see good gains on it. So it's a nice little import and it's kind of passive, always in the background. Next you get the elegant seashell, and what this is going to do is it's basically going to upgrade every time. Upgrade when you reach certain levels of plant evolutions. What this means is how every time that you plant, it grows up a level. So it's not if it mutates from sprout to say Veraci, it's if the Veraci goes from stage 1 to stage 2. And what this will do is it will basically have its own seashell level based around the number of upgrades you've got. Then based around the import level that you've used, that level will get multiplied by a bit percentage. So say if you're at level 1, you're going to say if you're at import level 1, you're going to have a 1% multiplier per seashell level. Now if your seashell level was level 3, for example, you've now got 3 times 1%, so you get a 3% increase. It scales quite nicely on the import level of the seashell, so it's kind of, that's worth leveling up in my opinion. The next one is Kitsune Roxy. Now this is a very, very, very strange upgrade early game, and what it will do is if you turn it on, you will gain plants at 4 times the speed, but you will lose 3 times the bits. So they'll only pay out 33% of what they normally would. So why is this a weird one? Well, if you're checking actively every hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, you probably want to have this on, because the amount of gains you're going to get from growing quicker is going to outweigh the decrease in bits. However, if you're checking once a day, you want to leave this off, because your plants will fully grow and you're just going to end up earning 33% less bits. This can be upgraded to increase the growth rate. So you can actually, increase it by an extra 100% on top, which means even quicker gains. So towards the late game, you're probably going to have this on the majority of the time, because the speed will outweigh the less bits. The next upgrade is the Bog Log. And what this does is it's a game of chance. Okay, now don't be confused by it, because the interface is misleading. What will happen is the cards will go face down and they will flip. They will then go back and they will flip again. Okay, then it will show you where there is a star and where there is a skull. If you land on a star, you roll to the next stage. If you land on a skull, you end your turn. By upgrading this, you get a chance to basically negate a skull, so you get a chance to re-roll and have another Bog Log. And the reason I say this is misleading is because you will see stars, but when they flip over, the star is not necessarily there. The only thing the star is an indicator of is the amount of stars available on that stage, not where they are. Okay, that's why it's very misleading. Be careful with this. The next one you're going to unlock is the Pong controller. This unlocks a virtual version of Pong inside the game. This is a very difficult version of Pong, not because Pong is difficult, but because the game has a habit of kind of glitching while you're playing this. So what can happen while you're playing this is if you're holding left or right and you get frozen frames, then you're constantly going to hold left or right, which makes it very, very difficult. It kind of counters you. You also do get those lost frames, which was like a stutter, which means that you might position yourself in the wrong place. And the speed of it and the speed of the computer go extremely high. There's an achievement for getting 25,000 points in it. You need to be a mad lad with many hours on your hand to be able to get to that point. Not because it's hard, but because the odds are against you because of the way the game handles it. The higher your Pong score, the better your bit multiplier. So as you can see, most of these are increasing your bit multiplier, and they sort of substantially gain one upon each other. The final import we have at the moment is the Immortal Snail. Now, this is a play on the, if you had to have a snail chase you for the rest of your life, but you got £1 million, and if the snail ever caught you, then you would die instantly, would you do it? And the reason I say that is because every day you're going to get a piece of mail from the snail. You can upgrade this by upgrading the import, so you can get 2-3 pieces of mail a day. And you get and then basically what you can do is every time you get 3 pieces of mail, you can gamble on the snail to upgrade its snail rank. Now, by upgrading its snail rank, you have a chance to double the amount of bit multiplier. So at the first rank, it's going to give you 1 times multiplier. At the second rank, it's going to be 2 times. But third rank, it's going to be 4 times. And it scales very, very quickly. By the time you reach 12 times, I think you're at something like 4.1 thousand times bit multiplier. This is a very good multiplier. Now, historically, this was a bit more painful, because what would happen is If you don't get lucky, there is a chance that you will be reset to level 1, which obviously is a massive hit to your bit multiplier. With a recent update, Lava added a quality of life to the Atom Collider, which lets you basically lock in your Immortal Snail level every 5 levels. So rank 1 on the Atom Collider will give you up to level 5. If you pass level 5, then you will only ever drop down to level 5, which means you're kind of capped by your losses. With this, if you can afford to do the Atom Collider and keep up to the stage you're at, just gamble away. Every single time, pay the free postcards and see if you go up a level. If you don't have the Atom Collider, then you may want to pay the 1 postcard to increase your chances of rolling the next level. Okay, so it really depends on Atom Collider and where you're at in terms of your atom collection. If you're end game with high atoms and you've started rolling it, then definitely gamble on the Immortal Snail. Okay, so what is the main benefit of this? Because it's quite the grind and it's quite long. Well, the main one is that you can actually get super bits. And what these do is they unlock various bonuses across the game. So, one of the first ones is bits for achievement. What that does is it increases your bits based around the number of achievements you've got. More achievements you've unlocked, more bits you're going to unlock. Another multiplier. The next one's going to kind of help out with, in terms of this mode itself, it will allow you to increase your max plant evolution. So it's called Plant Evo. It goes up from a 3-stage maximum to a 4-stage. 4 stages means that you're going to get more bonus, and there is an alchemy bubble that works off of the number of plant evolutions you've unlocked. It will increase your bit multiplier again. So again, it's kind of all working together, quite nice synergy with how it works. The next buff increases your worship totem HP. So when you're doing tower defense, you start off with 5 HP. This will increase it to 10 HP. It's quite a big buff to begin with. Next, you're going to unlock an Obel stat booster. And what this does is it increases your base Obel stats, so strength, agility, wisdom and luck, by 40%. This can be quite a substantial gain later on. After the Obel stat booster, you get shrine speed. And what this does, it levels up all shrines 50% faster than normal. Shrines are always good. They're basically free stats, so leveling them up 50% faster is good. Then you're going to get MSA Sailing. Now, this is where we start getting a little bit interesting. And what this will do is the miniature soul apparatus. Sorry, I missed that one. You get a miniature soul apparatus, which basically will count your waves that you've done in tower defense. For every 10 waves you've completed in all your tower defenses, you will get a 1% bonus to sailing speed. So this now means your tower defense has a buff attached to it. So you want to be clearing your tower defense as much as possible. Again, increasing that synergy, which is why, although this can be quite an annoying game, I quite enjoy the design of it because it works well with other skills. So going back to the MSA Totalizer, sorry, the one that I missed, this is 50 trillion bits. What it does is it gives a 1% damage bonus per 10 total waves in your tower defense. The next one you're going to unlock is No More Praying. Now, this isn't really useful at the moment, but what it does is if no prayers are equipped, then it will give you 20% of all of your prayers with no curses. This might find a use at certain points, however, for the moment, generally speaking, you're better off just running the curses and maxing out the levels to certain points, but that's for another video. The next upgrade that you get is library checkouts. Now, this will work off of your gaming level. For every gaming level, you get 1% faster checkout speed. The next one is MSA Mealing. This gives 10% bonus to meal cooking speed per 10 waves cleared in your tower defense. So anything MSA is related to tower defense. After that, we go up to more bubbles. What this is going to do is going to give you a 20% chance for 1 extra bubble boosted by No Bubble Left Behind. Now, No Bubble Left Behind becomes very, very powerful later on. You can get up to 4 levels if you get lucky on it. So adding an extra bubble to that is an extra 4 alchemy levels for free. It's a good buff. The next one's double XP. What this will do is there's a 15% chance for double XP whenever you're claiming AFK gains. Again, double XP is always going to be good for leveling up, so why not take it? After that, you'll go down to Spice is Nice. And what this is going to do is it's going to increase all spice gained by 1.5 times more. So you're just getting 50% more spice. The next one is Plant Evo. It adds another plant evolution, so now we can get up to 5 plants evolutions, but it's 2 billion green bits, so again expensive. After that, we have Newbie Gain, which is your lowest level character gets 1.5 times class XP, so you what you can do is almost chase your levels up and try and equalise your class XP, your class levels. It's a very nice bonus, especially if you've got some of the weaker classes like Blood Berserker that have a hard time levelling up. This will really help. After that, you get Worship Totem HP R, which is an extra 10 HP for your totem. Again, going to help with that tower defense, and tower defense is going to give you a load of buffs in here, so very worth doing. The final green bit buff that you can buy is MSA Big Bits. This is going to give you an extra 50% bits per 10 tower defense waves. More bits means more super bits, and that's really going to be helpful. After that, we move over to Atom Redux, and that's going to make all atom upgrades 10% cheaper. The last few atoms are very expensive, so any sort of cut you can get in that is good. From there, we move over to MSA Class XP, which now the miniature, so your tower defense basically gives 1% bonus class XP per 10 total waves. Again, more bonuses from tower defense, which is fantastic. Then you get MSA Skill XP. The same again, instead of being class XP, you get 1% skill XP. From there, you go on to another plant evo. So the maximum you can get up to is level 6 plants. I believe this is the one. They're 5 times rarer than normal, so these are going to take a while to unlock. But again, you're going to get a huge buff from doing so. Oh, is it tier 6? No, tier 7 I think is the top one. Yeah, tier 7 I believe. Apologies, I've been one out in the whole way through this video. After that, you get Spices Nicer. So all spice is now worth 2 times as much. I'm not sure if this stacks with Spices Nice because I don't have it. If it does, you could potentially get 3 times as many spice, but the way I'm reading it, you're just going to get 2 times. After that, we get another even more bubbles. This time it's only a 20%. This time it's a 20% chance again. So another bubble boosted by no bubble left behind. This can be great and really, really helpful. And the final one you get is Isotope Discovery. Now this is really, really expensive at 90 quintillion red bits. However, what this does is it increases the max level on all atoms plus 10. This can be really, really helpful for certain atoms. For example, the cooking one scales really, really well. The one that gives you extra power of 10 for items. Massive buff there. So this isn't something to sleep on and is definitely worth increasing your gaming for. Okay, so that's really all the information I've got for you. What you want to be doing is saving those chemicals until you need to jump forward and get a bog log bonus. If you can do that, great. What you then want to do is try and loop through those bog log bonuses as much as possible. When you're done using all your chemicals, use a sprinkler. Hopefully you'll get cactus and chemicals again. Use the cactus first to try and upgrade your plants. When all else is done and the chemicals are at a decent stage, use the chemicals to try and get more bog logs. If you do that, you can sometimes get really, really fortunate and end up in like a 40-minute loop of just going constantly through gaming, getting more and more gains. It starts off exciting. Towards the end, it can get frustrating. Okay, 40 minutes of this can be tedious, but that's how you're going to maximize your gains. Remember, if you want to unlock new plants in the mutations, to begin with, pick as many plants as possible to increase your chance. Once you get to those last 3, you're kind of better off just running the chance as soon as you get to 0.01% because the chance of unlocking them is so low. If you found this useful in any way, shape or form, please like, share and subscribe. Until next time, you've been amazing. Take care.